And welcome back, everyone, for Game 2 of our doubleheader against Southern New Hampshire. Bears won Game 1, 6-0. Kind of late getting the lineups here, so I'm going to be scrambling a little bit. At the start, Brooklyn Hevner is pitching for the Bears, freshman out of Shelby. She got a little work earlier in the Florida trip, and this will be the first time I think she's pitched at home. She's facing the leadoff hitter for Southern New Hampshire. That is Alyssa DeMauro. She led off last in Game 1 as well. Second baseman. And there's a strike. So 2-2 the count now. Brooklyn Hevner in the circle for the Bears, trying to sweep a doubleheader from Southern New Hampshire. And there's strike 3. So nice start there for Hevner as she strikes out the first batter she faces. I do want to toss this in real quick. There was a little confusion there towards the end, or there right at the end of Game 1, and I went silent for a second. I was getting distracted. Somebody from the stands was trying to tell me something, and Coach Holler in Game 1 picked up her 900th win as a head coach. And of course, the majority of those have been here at Lenoir-Rhyne, but what an incredible milestone for her to win her 900th game, and well-deserved, and glad most of them have been here in Hickory. So congratulations to Coach Holler. This might be I thought this was going to be a close foul ball for us, but so congratulations to Coach Holler, and hope she has many more and more titles and whatnot, regional trips, etc., here with the Bears. Bella Dickinson is the batter for Southern New Hampshire, starting shortstop. And there's a shot to Hannah Jennings, and that's a pretty easy throw to first, and out number 2. Bears won Game 1, 6-0. Lauren Rake started. Morgan Beeler came in and pitched a little bit. Brooklyn Hevner starting here for the Bears here in Game 2. So with a doubleheader tomorrow and another one on Monday, I imagine Coach Holler's trying to stretch her pitching staff out a little bit and try not to overwork the arms with some games stacked up. Chloe Griffin is at the plate for Southern New Hampshire. She started in the circle in Game 1. Kind of got roughed up there in the middle innings, had to come out. Actually went from the pitching circle to right field. She'll be playing right field again here in Game 2, at least to start out. And 1-1 the count for Brooklyn Hevner for Lenoir-Rhyne as she tries to get a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the first. And pop back our way a little bit. Is it going to be playable? No, it's going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough play for Graylee Hildebrand. She's behind the plate for the Bears here in Game 2. Sophomore from Conley Springs in East Burke High School. Right up against the fence. That was going to be a tough play. So Griffin stays alive, 1-2, as Hevner looks to get out 3 here in the first inning. A little high. Count goes to 2-2. And there's another shot to third, so a couple of plays by Hannah Jennings in the field. And the Bears move to the bottom of the first after a pretty easy first inning for Brooklyn Hevner for Lenoir-Rhyne. So we'll head to the bottom of the first with the game scoreless. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network.
Being a champion takes more than skill. More than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion is the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
And welcome back, everyone, as we head to the bottom of the first. No score here early in Game 2 of our doubleheader against Southern New Hampshire, the Penman of Southern New Hampshire. Just to cut through a lot of detail, the PEN in Penman is for a quill pen. Their colonial dressed mascot carries a quill pen, and that's where the pen comes from. Gwen Hammond will be on the mound for Southern New Hampshire. She'll face, as usual, Savannah Moorfield to lead off. If you're with us, Game 1, I kind of mentioned the Northeast flavor roster for Southern New Hampshire. As you might expect, most of the team, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine. Gwen Hammond is from Los Angeles, California. And I have to wonder what she thinks about winter in Southern New Hampshire. 1-1 count now to Savannah Moorfield. And here's a pitch from Hammond. And it's a ground ball to short. Is it going to be able to get her? No. Boy, Savannah can run. Shortstop had to move a little bit to her left, Bella Dickinson, and really made a good throw. But Savannah Moorfield being on the right side of the batter's box and just gets down the line so quick. She's a tough out on just about any ground ball in the infield, and she has an infield single to lead off the first for the Bears. Bottom of the first. Caitlin Rackard will be at the plate now for Lenoir-Rhyne. Shortstop, freshman shortstop from Lexington. And she takes strike one. Back a couple of hits and 3 RBIs back in Game 1, so she's had a good day so far. Does a good job in the field at shortstop. And early base runner for the Bears. See if Rackard can get something started here. Here's a pitch from Hammond. Savannah looked like she was going to go, but Rackard takes a third strike, and there's one away. Kylie Linhart steps in for the Bears. She's the designated player here in Game 2 with Hildebrand behind the plate. And that's ball one to Linhart. Just getting going here in the second game of our doubleheader. Bears won the first one 6-0. 8-0. Third win in a row now after sweeping the doubleheader from King on Wednesday. So let's keep that up and Sweep 2 doubleheaders. 2-0 count to Lenoir. Savannah Moorfield on first. And a hot shot down the third baseline is fair. That's probably looks like it's going to be a double for Lenoir. I imagine Moorfield will score easily, which she does, and an RBI double for Kylie Lenoir. And the Bears are on the board early. And left fielder had to run quite a ways to get there. And easy double from Lenoir. And Moorfield scoots around. Gives the Bears a lead. Cassidy Wall is up for Lenoir-Rhyne. Currently the RBI leader for the team after a couple in game 1. Gives her 9 for the year, and she's got a chance at another one here. Nice attempt there by the second baseman, but she muffed it, and Lenoir's going to come around to score. So Wall reaches on a, let's see if they call that a hit. They're going to call that a hit for Wall. That was a tough play for the second baseman. Made a good effort for it, but kind of bobbled away from her, and Kylie was able to score from second, so all of a sudden Bears have a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Hannah Jennings steps in. Hitless in game 1, did have a stolen base after a walk. Reached on an error. Did have a stolen base, so she's looking for her first hit of the day. And count goes to 1-1. Do nothing. It's early on. There's a ground ball to second base and easy throw there. Wall scoots back to second. So Hannah Jennings able to advance the runner. There's 2 away now, with Laura Beth Wood stepping in. Laura Beth was hitless also in game 1. Long home run in the doubleheader against King on Wednesday, so certainly capable, and the flags are pretty still, so let's see if she can get a hold of one here, get her first hit of the day. Excuse me. And ball 2. Gwen Hammond in the circle for Southern New Hampshire. Game 1 was Southern New Hampshire's first game of the year. So they're just getting their season started. Kind of a tough little weak roller there that the third baseman plays and is able to get Wood at first. So Bears go down in the bottom of the first, but not without scoring 2 and taking a quick lead here in game 2 of our doubleheader. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bear Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC is ready for another exciting football season. Everett has been a proud sponsor of the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears for 25 years, and we wish the Bears a safe and successful season. And August means it's all systems go for another winning season with the Carolina Panthers. We have a tradition of winning in the Carolinas, and when you want to be a winner in the car, truck, or SUV game, come see the sales and service champions at Everett, because if you didn't get an Everett deal, you dropped the ball, baby. Woo!
And welcome back. Early on in Game 2 of a doubleheader, Lenoir-Rhyne softball hosting Southern New Hampshire. Bears lead 2-0 as we go to the top of the second. Shannon Gifford leads off for Southern New Hampshire, third baseman. Played third in Game 1. And she faces Brooklyn Hevner, freshman from Shelby, who's in the circle for Lenoir-Rhyne. If you just joined us, head coach Sheena Holler, our Lenoir-Rhyne leader in softball, picked up her 900th career win with the win in Game 1 here. So just an outstanding accomplishment and really reflective of excellence in coaching over a long period of time. Coach Holler in her 23rd season now, the majority of which has been with the Bears, thankfully, and a lot of success. Going to have a good season this season. 2-2 the count now to Gifford as Hevner gets ready for the pitch. And a little inside, count runs full. 3 up, 3 down in the first for Southern New Hampshire. Hevner got one strikeout. Hannah Jennings made a couple of nice plays in the field. And Brooklyn trying to get Gifford here. Foul right, so Gifford stays alive. Count stays 3-2. Not much to report on as far as offensive accolades. Game 1 for Southern New Hampshire, as the Bears threw another shutout. This one combined. Lauren Rakes started the game, 3 innings, 1 hit, no walks, no runs, no walks, 6 Ks. Beeler closed it out, 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 Ks. So only 2 hits and a walk, 3 base runners for Southern New Hampshire in Game 1. And as I mentioned, this is only their second game of the year, so they're certainly behind from that standpoint. The Bears, there's a slow roller. Jennings makes another play, be here third of the game, and quick throw, and there's out number 1 in the top of the second. So the Bears now having, at 5-5, 10 games under their belt, and Southern New Hampshire just getting started today. You'd expect they'd be a little bit rusty, trying to get their feet underneath them. 13-13 last year. And, you know, from what you could tell here in Game 1, even though it was their first game, looked to be a pretty solid team. Brooklyn Hevner facing Emily Carbonneau, the first baseman for Southern New Hampshire. And there's a strike to even the count at 1-1. And there's a nice shot to shortstop, and Rackard kind of ate her up a little bit. It got there quick and bounced off her glove. And Carbonneau reaches first. So, error for Caitlin Rackard brings up Abby Gray. Southern New Hampshire, it's a mouthful. Southern New Hampshire catcher. And she pops up to right. A long run there. Cassidy Wall is still in right this game. And Gray will step back in. Base runner at first for Southern New Hampshire. And just off of Hildebrand's glove, Carbonneau is going to take off, and she's going to get into second base. So, pass ball, I guess we'll call it, for Hildebrand. And Southern New Hampshire has a runner in scoring position. One out here in the top of the second, and the Penmen have a little threat going. Here's a pitch to Gray, and there's a strike. 1-2 now the count. Bears follow up this doubleheader. Well, we'll wait while Hebner comes to the plate. And there's a swing and a miss. Nice job by Brooklyn there to get the second out. So 2 away now, and Brittany Moda steps in for Southern New Hampshire. Played left field in game 1, is in left field here in game 2, but did not hit. So she'll get some at-bats here in game 2 and takes a first pitch strike from Brooklyn Hebner. Bears lead 2-0. Penman have a runner at second, though, with 2 outs here in the top of the second. A little bit high. Count goes 1-1. Sun's starting to drop a little bit, and it's starting to cool off. And a little bit outside. Thanks to Jeremy Zalaka for finding me a spot up in the video platform this year. Helps keep the wind off a little bit. And sharing some space with Malik Ellis. He's our tech guy, so he's far more important than I am. So you're listening to me, but he's doing everything else. I'm pretty good at talking, for those of you who know me. And there's just a little number back to Hebner. She's going to make an easy play, and the Bears are out of the inning. So after a tough, hard-hit ball to Caitlin Racker gets a base runner on for Southern New Hampshire, Brooklyn Hebner shuts the door from there, and we'll go to the bottom of the second with the Bears leading 2-0. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
I love being busy in my garden. I got flowers to plant and beds to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found an expert for my heart.
And welcome back. We're heading to the bottom of the second. Bears leading here in 2-0 in game 2 of our doubleheader against the Penmen of Southern New Hampshire. Leanna Sherrill is at the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne. She's at second base here in game 2. So she's getting her first at-bats today, or at-bat today. And count goes 1-1. Here's the pitch from Gwen Hammond. Has a strike. So Sherrill behind in the count. 1-2. Leanna, seen her from Statesville, North Carolina. Right up Interstate 40, and she goes down on strikes for the first out in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up Graylee Hildebrand, who's catching in game 2 today for the Bears. So her first at-bat today as well gives Kylie Linhart a break from behind the plate. Hildebrand steps in to face Gwen Hammond. And first pitch is a ball. Graylee right up 40 in the opposite direction of Leanna Sherrill. She's up in Burke County, went to East Burke High School. And here's the pitch. There's a shot to center. Looks like it's going to hold up pretty well, and the play is made for the second out here in the bottom of the second. Doubleheader tomorrow here as Bears are in the midst of an 8-game homestand, this being game number 4. Tomorrow, 5 and 6 against UNC Pembroke. First pitch at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. As Kendall Osborne steps in. Kendall, regular in left field. Kind of came in struggling at the plate heading into the King doubleheader. Got a nice solid double on Wednesday, 3 for 3 in game 1. So it looks like she might be heating up. A nice play at first base by Emily Carbonneau to get Kendall Osborne for the third out. So no runs for the Bears here in the bottom of the second. They'll take a 2-0 lead over Southern New Hampshire into the top of the third. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bear Sports Network.
Hickory's Hometown Jeweler celebrates our hometown teams, college sweethearts. These couples met and fell in love in Hickory and have been together ever since. For the past 38 years, we've helped our clients celebrate a lot of milestones, and stories like these are some of our favorites. Bring your love back to where it all began. Show your college sweetheart the past as you look together to the future, and let us help you start your future here at Oz's Jewelers.
So Brooklyn Hebner starts her third inning of work for the Bears in the circle, freshman out of Shelby. And she will face Autumn Stevens, the designated player for Southern New Hampshire. Stevens getting her first at-bat of not only today, but the year. Didn't play in game 1. That was Southern New Hampshire's first game of the season, so Stevens getting her first chance in the new season. And count runs to 1-1. As I mentioned, opening game 2, I was trying to do a little quick reading about Southern New Hampshire before I got out here. And just get a few facts and figures and wait for the pitch. And ball 2. So I just looked up some general information. Their student enrollment's close to being twice Lenoir-Rhyne's, a little less than that, 3,900. And then I looked down. Here's a pitch from Hebner. And a hot shot right through the legs of Laura Beth Wood. That was going to be a tough play. It got to her quick. And a leadoff base runner for Southern New Hampshire here in the top of the third. Official score gives that an error on Wood. And with none out, Bryn Garzinski, center fielder, will step in for Southern New Hampshire. Finish my story here in a second. And pitch 1's a ball. So Southern New Hampshire may ring a bell because it's possible you've seen their commercials on TV with the bus going around and presenting degrees to people who have done their online programs. So I mentioned their traditional enrollment at around 3,900. Their online enrollment was listed as 135,000. There's a comebacker to Hebner, and she muffs it, and all runners are safe. So a little shaky start in the field for the Bears here, as Hebner has a chance to help herself and bobbles the ball. That's the second error of the inning, third of the game for Lenoir-Rhyne, and very clean in the field. Doubleheader against King and in game one, but as I mentioned, a little bit shaky start here, and Hebner's in a little bit of trouble. There's a bunt, and Jennings is going to go to first, where Sherrill makes the catch, and there's one away, but the runners advance for Southern New Hampshire. So Alyssa DeMario did her job to advance the runners. And two runners now in scoring position for Southern New Hampshire, with Bella Dickinson coming to the plate. Dickinson grounded out to third, back in the first, but she's got a chance to get Southern New Hampshire their first runs of the new season here with 2 on and 1 out. Bears lead 2-0. Southern New Hampshire threatening. And inside 2-0. Hebner got a start and pitched 5 innings in Florida. There's a little blooper. Looks like it's going to fall right in front of Wall, and she came to the plate. But Autumn Stevens, beats the throw. And Southern New Hampshire on the board for the first time this year. Only RBI single by Bella Dickinson. And the Bears' lead is cut to 2-1. Chloe Griffin at the plate as Coach Holler goes out to try to settle things down a little bit. I imagine point number 1 might be, let's take care of the ball a little bit in the infield. 3 errors already for the Bears. Pretty clean softball to this point. And I imagine Hebner, only her second start of the season. I get her a little settled down. She's pitched well. Didn't help herself as she has one of the errors. So no hits for Southern. Well, excuse me, 1 hit, the most recent single. But to that point, no hits. But 3 base runners due to error. And so see if she can settle back in, and as she faces Chloe Griffin. Griffin started in the circle for Southern New Hampshire in game 1, ended up playing in right field, and that's a shot to Savannah Moorfield. Pretty reliable there. She's going to doesn't try to come home. She just throws it to cutoff there, Leanna Sherrill. And run number 2 as Southern New Hampshire now has tied Lenoir-Rhyne here in game 2. So sacrifice fly for Chloe Griffin is the second out. Penman have plated 2, and Shannon Gifford at the plate. She grounded out to Hannah Jennings at third in her first at bat. There's a runner on for Southern New Hampshire. Bella Dickinson at first, here with 2 away, top of the third. Lights come on here at Bearfield. And there's a shot to left center. Looks like Osborne will be able to make the play, and she does. So there's out number 3 for Lenoir-Rhyne, but not before Southern New Hampshire ties this softball game at 2. A couple errors helped them out, and we get out of the inning without any more damage. So score tied 2-2. We'll head to the bottom of the third. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bear Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Cordell Harris Insurance Agency, a family-owned and operated business serving the Hickory area since 1981, where we strive to take care of you and your den like family. As an independent insurance agency, we offer a vast spectrum of coverage for your commercial and personal insurance needs with our extensive network of providers. Cordell Harris Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of Lenoir-Rhyne Athletics. Protect your den with Cordell Harris. Go Bears!
So welcome back. Tie ball game here as we head to the bottom of the third. Savannah Moorfield at the plate. She singled and scored the Bears' first run back in the first inning. Quick 2-0 lead for Lenoir-Rhyne, but Southern New Hampshire's fought back. Got two in the top half of the third, and we're in a tie ball game. Bears won the first one 8-0, so Southern New Hampshire's first runs of the new season. And Savannah drops a single in right field and will be on base for the second time today, or second time in this game. So leadoff single from Moorfield, much like she led off the game. Let's see if we can get the same result we played at 2 back in the first. Let's see if we can get a couple here after the Penman tied the game in the last half. Caitlin Rackard up, struck out her first time, but had a good solid 2 hits, 3 RBIs in game 1, and had a ball eater up here in the field in game 2. But other than that, looks like a good, solid shortstop in addition for the Bears. Freshman out of Lexington. Gwen Hammond on the mound for Southern New Hampshire. And here's the pitch. Rackard showed bunt. Ball gets past that catcher, and Moorfield trots down to second. And the count now 2-0. Scored as 1-0. Gwen Hammond facing Caitlin Rackard. Runner in scoring position. Runner with speed and scoring position for the Bears, Savannah Moorfield. 2 for 3 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs in game 1 was Savannah. And already 2 hits and a run here in game 2. So strike 1 to Rackard. Counts 3-1. Here's the pitch from Hammond. And a little pop. Looks like this shortstop's going to be able to make that play, and she does. So there's out 1 here in the bottom of the third. And Kylie Linhart will come to the plate. Kylie caught in game 1, and she's behind the plate a lot, as you know, if you follow the Bears. Getting a little break in the field here in game 2 as Graylee Hildebrand's behind the plate, but Kylie's bat still in the lineup. And here's the pitch. Ball 1. Kylie 1 for 2 with an RBI in game 1. Has a chance at another RBI here and fouls 1 back. So 1-1 to count. Bears trying to retake the lead. Led early 2-0. Southern New Hampshire clawed back a little bit in the top half of the third with the help of a couple of Lenoir-Rhyne errors and tied this up. And Moorfield's going to go. Boy, she's tough out there on the base paths. Just the slightest mistake. Ball just got in the dirt on the catcher, and she couldn't scoop it up in time to get Moorfield. Going to third, and now a lot closer to home plate as Linhart stands in, heading to count 2-1. Here's the pitch from Hammond. And popped it up, back foul. Wasn't able to be here for the openers against Lees McRae, and obviously didn't go to Florida, but just from what I've seen in 3 games and a couple of at-bats, Linhart is really, really close to getting some good, solid gap hits. She's gotten under a few that I know she'd like to have back here the last couple of days. So there's one right there. It's going back to the scoreboard, and that is going to be caught. Nice play there in left center by the center fielder. So deep enough to get Savannah Moorfield, but another near miss for Kylie Linhart. Her second sac fly of the day. She had one back in game 1, her second RBI. 2 outs now, and the Bears retake the lead 3-2. Cassidy Wall steps in. Single in the first. And there's ball one. That one kind of got away from him. Looked like it just rolled up to the plate. And 2-0 the count now to Cassidy Wall. Wall, a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs in game one. Already a hit here in game two, looking for her second hit of this game, and a hot shot to third. Nice play by the third baseman for Southern New Hampshire. And the inning is over for Lenoir-Rhyne, but not before the Bears retake the lead on some good base running by Savannah Moorfield and a sac fly from Kylie Linhart, and the Bears lead 3-2. We'll head to the top of the fourth. When we come back, you're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
I'm Rob with Center Street Eats. We're located at 2250 North Center Street in Viewmont. We offer fast dine-in, carry-out service. Usually your prepared meals at lunch from 11 to 3 are ready within 5 minutes. Center Street Eats also offers prepared meals and snacks, protein bars, smoothies, and so much more. We can accommodate most allergy restrictions and can adjust our weekly menu to comply with the most current trending diets like keto and paleo. Street Eats has helped fuel the sports programs at Lenoir-Rhyne for over 10 years now. We work with every program on campus, and we look forward to working with them again.
And welcome back. Close ball game here early on. Game two of our doubleheader. Lenoir-Rhyne hosting Southern New Hampshire. Southern New Hampshire's first two games of the year here in Hickory. And they trail by a run going in the top of the fourth. And there's a ground ball to Leanna Sherrill. Makes an easy play. Goes to first. And quickly, one out for the Bears. Brooklyn Hevner on the mound, freshman out of Shelby, has pitched really well. Some unusually not good fielding for the Bears have helped lead to the 2 runs for Southern New Hampshire, but overall the Bears freshman pitcher has done a good job. There's a strike. One away here, top of the fourth. Bears lead 3-2, trying to sweep their second doubleheader of the week and have a 4-game winning streak heading into a doubleheader with UNC Pembroke tomorrow, starting at 2. There's a ball. 1-2 now the count. Wind picking up a little bit. And here's the pitch. Took something off of it. Outside 2-2. Malik Ellis and I took a vote, and we voted 2-0 that it is in fact a little colder than Wednesday, with a little more wind. And there's a high shot to left. Looks like Osborne's going to have an easy play, and out number 2 as Brooklyn Hevner looks pretty settled after kind of a choppy third inning. Not all of her making. And 2 away for Southern New Hampshire as Brittany Mata steps to the plate. Grounded out to Hevner back in the second. So her second plate appearance of the day. She played left field in game 1, but did not hit. Here's a pitch from Hebner. And ground ball to shortstop. Rackard's going to make that play, and there's out number 3. So quick 1-2-3 inning for Lenoir-Rhyne here in the top of the 4th. And no runs, no hits, no errors. Bears will come to the plate. The bottom half looking to extend a 3-2 lead here in game 2 of our doubleheader. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network. And welcome back. As we head to the bottom of the 4th, Bears lead Southern New Hampshire 3-2. Hannah Jennings steps in. Been pretty busy at third base so far in game 2. Looking for her first hit here in game 2. Grounded out to second base, back in the 1st. And here's a pitch from Gwen Hammond. Hammond's pitched the whole way so far for Southern New Hampshire. As Jennings steps back in. And there's a strike. Bears won game 1, 8-0, but in addition to that, pretty cool that head coach Sheena Holler got her 900th career coaching win. Pitch from Hammond, 8 up, catcher Abby Gray there. So 900 wins in Coach Holler's career, and not too many can say that. Active, well, I'll have to look it up. I've got a list of active coaching wins in Division II. And there's a shot. Now, Jennings, is that going to get to the gap? No, left fielder looks like he is going to make the play. And there's one away here in the bottom of the 4th. So Coach Holler, as I mentioned, is currently 9th on the winningest active coaches in Division II. I don't know if that's all time or if that's it says active. That's a lot of wins for some people that would still be active. Anyway, she's 9th in Division II. That's a pretty good career. And she's got quite a few years ahead of her. At least we hope so as LR Bear fans. She's done a fantastic job here building this program and keeping it good and solid for now 23 years. And there's a Laura Beth Wood hits a shot to third and going to be able to make the play, and that's the second time in this game that's she's eating up the third baseman. Oh, no, they're going to call her safe. Okay. So, it's infield single for Laura Beth Wood. Apologize, I missed that. I was looking down at my scorebook. So, Bears have a base runner with one out. Leanna Sherrill steps in. She's playing second base here in game 2. And takes a strike. Sun starting to set here. lights are on at Bear Field. As I would say, there's a decent chance we finish in the dark. Maybe not. Bears lead 3-2. One game won, 8-0. Looking for their second doubleheader sweep of the week. And here's a fly ball to center. And the play's made. Wood will have to stay at first. And that will be out number 2. I jumped the gun last time. And Graylee Hildebrand comes to the plate. She's behind the plate here in game 2. Catching for the Bears. Give Kylie Linhart a little break. Graylee flew out to center in her only at bat today. And looking to get a hit here and maybe have a little 2-out rally for the Bears. Bears had a couple of 2-out rallies in game 1. Maybe can get one going now. Two away here, bottom of the 4th. Here's the pitch to Hildebrand. And outside from Gwen Hammond. Mentioned it's getting chilly. So the New Hampshire players are in short sleeves. Here's a shot, and it's going to be just foul. Boy, that was pretty good power there from Graylee Hildebrand. She just missed double off the fence or potentially a home run. It was right there, a little bit shielded by the visiting dugout. But if that had been a little bit straighter, might have been out of here. Instead, it's a loud strike and counts now 1-2. And there's strike 3 to end the inning. So Hildebrand goes down on strikes. Third strikeout of the day for Gwen Hammond of Southern New Hampshire. And we'll head to the top of the 5th with the Bears leading 3-2. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Bat number 16, Autumn Stevens.
And welcome back as we start the top of the 5th. Autumn Stevens steps in, designated player for Southern New Hampshire. And Brooklyn Hebner, freshman out of Shelby, on the mound for the Bears. Stevens reached to lead off the 3rd for Southern New Hampshire. Reached on an error. Southern New Hampshire scored 2 in that inning, thanks in part to a couple errors by the Bears. They seem to have tightened things up a little bit in the 4th, and hopefully that will remain the same in the 5th. Hebner so far, 4 innings pitched, 2 runs, both unearned, and has really done a solid job for us today. Lauren Rakes and Morgan Beeler split time in game 1. Hebner here in game 2. Bears have, after today, 4 games in 3 days. So Coach Holler trying to spread the pitching out a little bit. There's a ground ball to Rackard, makes a nice play, and 1 away here in the top of the 5th. Doubleheader tomorrow, as I mentioned. UNC Pembroke. Slipped up and called them Pembroke State earlier. Way back in my earlier days here when we were all in the Carolinas Conference. Pembroke State then was one of our conference foes. Bryn Garzinski at the plate for the Penman, starting in center field. She also reached on there in the 3rd inning and came around to score the Penman's 2nd run. And that's where they stand now, with the Bears leading 3-2. UNC Pembroke tomorrow. Lemoyne University out of Syracuse, New York, will be here on Monday. First pitch for that game is 12 noon. And they may have played some games by the time they get here, but probably similar position as Southern New Hampshire. Hadn't had a lot of time outside due to weather and are probably enjoying coming down south. And there's a slow ground ball to Leanna Sherrill. She scoops it up and gets it to first for the 2nd out. I mentioned it's a little colder than Wednesday, and I think I said later after that, Southern New Hampshire's in short sleeves. Well, guess it's what you're used to. Top of the order now for Penman. Alyssa Demaro steps in. And there's strike 1 from Brooklyn Hebner. I told my students, in comparison of Hickory and Boone, 20 degrees is cold. 20 degrees with a 40-mile-an-hour wind is really cold. And there's a nice single from Demaro into left field. And Southern New Hampshire has a 2-out base runner here in the top of the 5th. Only the 2nd hit for the Penman. Only a couple of hits in game 1, so they'll need to get some time on the field and get their hitting sorted out. Only their 2nd game of the year. Bears now 5-5, looking to go 6-5 if they can sweep this doubleheader. 2 outs, run on first. And there's a solid hit to center. Moorfield's going to make the play and hold the runner at 2nd. So back-to-back singles for Southern New Hampshire. And they have a 2-out rally going here in the top of the 5th.
At bat number 3, Chloe Griffin.
Chloe Griffin comes to the plate. Pitched most of game 1. Was relieved late. Went out to play to right field. That's where she is in game 2. And she stands in with a runner in scoring position. Grounded out to 3rd, back in the 1st. Had a sac fly, drove in the 2nd run for the Penman back in the 3rd. And she has another opportunity here. And pitch a little off. 2-0 now the count. Brooklyn Hebner looks at the wristband. And foul back. Count goes to 2-1. A lot more bundled up clothing and blankets here in game 2. I think Hebner would have liked to have had that one. Instead, it's ball 3. And here's the pitch, and fought it off. Foul ball down the first baseline. So count goes full with 2 outs. So lots of things happen in these situations. Runners get a head start. And we'll hope that the Bears can make a play here. 3-2, 2 outs, top of the 5th, and another foul ball. For those of you out there who know Joe, yes, I'm wearing shorts. (3-2). Bears trying to hang on to a 3-2 lead here. 3-2 the count as Brooklyn Heather comes to the plate. And that's going to be ball 4. So all of a sudden, after 2 quick outs, bases are loaded for the Penman. He'll Hebner's first walk of the game. And here comes Coach Holler. And it looks like Lauren Rakes is going to come out and relieve Brooklyn Hebner. Nice job for the freshman out of Shelby. Did give up 2 unearned runs in the 3rd. Bear fielding kind of got away from us there as the runs, as I mentioned, were unearned. And really through 4 2/3. It's cruising along. Now, though, with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, bases are loaded. Pair of singles and a walk. And Lauren Rakes, who hasn't given up a run this week, will step in and try to close this thing out for Lenoir-Rhyne. Not this inning won't close it out, but kind of stem the tide. Get the Bears out of the inning and hopefully spread the lead a little bit. Good job overall in the circle for the LR pitching staff in these 3.5 games we've had this week. 3 shutouts, and then the 2 runs today unearned. So overall, pitching kind of settled in this week. But Lauren Rakes inherits a bit of a pickle with 2 outs. And the base is full of Penman. And she'll try to shut this thing down and get the Bears into the dugout for the bottom of the 5th. Rakes in relief of Brooklyn Hebner. Looks at the wristband, and here's the pitch. And it's ball 1. Changing face masks there. I would imagine if it's not yours and it's not fit exactly right, that could be annoying. And there's ball 2. All the Bears players have gone to long sleeves underneath their jersey, except for Laura Beth Wood. She's the one holdout. And there's ball 3. So now we're in a spot. Ball 4 would tie this ball game and keep the bases loaded. Lauren pretty experienced. She's done a lot of innings for the Bears and had some really good ones here recently. Let's see what we do here, and there's strike 1. So Rakes comes back and gets a strike. 3-1 count now. 3-2 lead for the Bears, but Southern New Hampshire threatening. And here's the pitch. Inside strike 2. Now things get really interesting. 3-2 count, 2 outs, and the bases loaded. Let's see if Lauren can get us out of this. And just got a piece of it at the plate. And Shannon Gifford, Southern New Hampshire third baseman, trying to at least tie the game, possibly give Southern New Hampshire the lead. 0-2 so far today for Gifford. And pop back again. So she's battling. Ricks fell behind in the count 3-0. Got a couple of strikes, and now Gifford's fouled a couple off. Good little individual battle here between pitcher and batter, and there's another foul ball. It's back over to the Visual Arts building. And deep into the woods, maybe. That one might not be recoverable. So here's another pitch from Rakes. And there's another foul ball. And that just missed cars. In the parking lot behind left field, off to the side of the left field fence. And the battle continues. One of the cool things about softball and baseball, I mean, it's one pitcher, one batter. And that's where we're right down the middle, and she froze Gifford on that. Nice job by Lauren Rakes to get the Bears out of that pickle and end the inning on a strikeout. So, Southern New Hampshire threatens with bases loaded in 2 outs, but LR is able to get out of it on a strikeout by Lauren Rakes, and we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Bears lead 3-2. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network.
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
And welcome back, just in time for, I was going to say, a little bloop single by Kendall Osborne, but nice play by the second baseman for Southern New Hampshire. And that is one away here in the bottom of the 5th. Bears lead 3-2. Top of the order, Savannah Moorfield coming to the plate. Great day at the plate for Moorfield today. 4 hits and 5 at bats, 4 runs, a couple RBIs, and already came into the game leading the Bears and hitting at .441, so that's gone up dramatically. Two over the count. Boy, when you've seen it this game, her speed and base running make such a difference and create so much trouble for opposing teams. And she's been doing that for a long time here for Lenoir-Rhyne. Great center field to boot. 2-1 to count. Gwen Hammond has been on the mound the distance so far for Southern New Hampshire, and there's ball 3. UNC Pembroke tomorrow at 2. Bears trying to close out their second double header sweep of the week, and there's ball 4. So on base again, Savannah Moorfield. Not probably what Gwen Hammond wanted, because as I mentioned earlier, a lot of things can happen when Savannah's on base. And Caitlin Rackard steps in. Oh for 2 here in game 2. Struck out in the first. Popped out to shortstop. Her fellow shortstop. In the third, she's looking for her first hit here in game 2. You'd go 2 for 4 in game 1. There's a nice bunt, and they're not going to be able to get in. The throw gets away from the second baseman who was covering first, and Moorfield's going to get to third. So there's, just another example of heads-up base running and speed for the Bears center fielder. I think Rackard was going to be safe. That was a nice bunt. It just got away from the second baseman who was covering the plate. Bears now with runners on the corners and 1 out. And Rackard goes. They try to pick Moorfield off of third, and quickly second and third with 1 out and Kylie Linhart at the plate. As I mentioned earlier, she's gotten under a few here the last couple 3 games, and she's about ready to connect. That one was, but not straight, and goes out into the parking lot in the street over near the track. She did not get under that one. Just got around too early. Double in the first and scored. Sacrifice fly in the third. And there's ball 1. Third all time in home runs for Lenoir-Rhyne. Couple behind Jody Mizell. And 4 behind Bears all-time home run hitter. That's going to get out of play back here close to our platform. 4 behind LR's all-time home run leader with 46, Sarah Atkins Cook. I believe is expecting, she and her husband, her second child. And I very much enjoy seeing the exploits of her little boy on Facebook. Cute as a button. Here's a pitch to Linhart. And hit it hard, ground ball to left. That's going to score 1. Rackard's going to hold up at third. And Kylie Linhart, sharp single to left, gets another RBI, her second of the day. And the Bears get another run and take a 4-2 lead. So same position as before. Runners on first and third for Lenoir-Rhyne, and Cassidy Wall comes up to the plate. Had a single back in the first, grounded out to third in the third. Has a chance to get an RBI here, as she is our RBI leader this season so far with 9. A couple back in game 1. Gwen Hammond on the mound for Southern New Hampshire. Linhart took off. Boy, a hot shot to third. Wow. Lenhart took off, so she got to second easily. And the third baseman, instead of going to first, heady play, tried to get Caitlin Rackard off at third. Rackard's able to scoot back. So, Bears now with bases loaded. And a 4-2 lead. Hannah Jennings steps in. Hannah looking for her first hit of the day. Ground out and a fly out to left here in game 2. She's got the bases loaded. Let's see if she can get a couple across here. 1-1 to count. Excuse me. And here's the pitch from Hammond. And a nice shot up the middle, just past the second baseman, and a couple of runs are going to score. So good time for Hannah Jennings to get her first hit of the day. A 2-run single. And the Bears have given themselves a little bit of a cushion here in the bottom of the 5th. Bears now lead 6-2. And there's going to be a pitching change for Southern New Hampshire. So Gwen Hammond is done for today. I need to see the number, but I believe this might be Lena McKechnie, who came in relief back in game 1. And my cohort, Mr. Ellis, says it's 22, and that is, in fact, McKechnie. She finished the game for Southern New Hampshire in game 1. So pitching change for Southern New Hampshire. Get that down in my scorebook. As Lena McKechnie comes in with 1 out. Bears have already plated 3 to take a 6-2 lead. Hannah Jennings on first. Great time for her first hit of the day. Pushed a couple of runs across. Cassidy Wall at second. And Laura Beth Wood stepping in to face McKechnie. Woods hit the ball hard twice. Both shots to the third baseman, who was able to throw out the first time. Beat the throw the second time, so Laura Beth 1 for 1. And a chance at RBI here. And she can hit it out. She had a long home run and doubleheader against King in game 1. Be a nice time for that here in game 2 against Southern New Hampshire. So Wood stands in. New pitcher for Southern New Hampshire is Lena McKechnie. And here's her first pitch. And it goes back to the screen and now bounces back out to the pitcher. I don't know if I've seen that before, but it got past the catcher quick, as you could see, and hit the wall and went right back out to her. It's pretty interesting turn of events there. Moves the base runners up for the Bears. Now Wood with 2 runners in scoring position stands in after ball 1. And there's strike to even the count. Bears up 6-2. Close until this inning. Bears have been able to open it up a little bit and looking for more. And there's strike 2. 1 out. 2 runners for the Bears. 3 have already crossed the plate. And Laura Beth Wood facing a 1-2 count. Boy, and that's strike 3. She must have been right up on the plate because she sort of turned in like it was inside. But they called third strike, and that's the second out of the inning. So Leanna Sherrill steps in. She now with an opportunity to plate a couple runs for the Bears. Playing second base here in game 2. Looking for her first hit of the day. And there's ball 1. UNC Pembroke tomorrow, 2 o'clock first pitch. Day off for the Daytona 500. I don't think that's why she scheduled Sunday off. And then a doubleheader against Lemoyne beginning at noon on Monday. But order of business now is to try to get another doubleheader sweep. This one against Southern New Hampshire, but still have a ways to go. The fence at the track and soccer complex and plated 3 runs. But loud foul ball, and Sherrill will step back in. 1-2 count, 2 outs. 2 runners on. Bears lead 6-2. Cagney tries to kind of lob one in there. It's high. So Sherrill now with an even count. And that one high as well. So 3-2 with 2 outs. Runners be able to take off a little bit here. And here we go. And a swing and a miss. So Cagney comes in to stem the tide for Southern New Hampshire, gets a couple of strikeouts at the end of the inning, and will go to the top of the 6th, but not before the Bears strike for 3 runs and extend their lead here to 6-2. And we go, as I mentioned, to the top half of the 6th. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
And welcome back here as we go to the top of the 6th. Emily Carbonneau leading off for Southern New Hampshire, the Penman first baseman, and she's facing Lauren Rakes, who gets a comebacker but bobbles it a little bit. Nice play and throw by Sherrill, and good stretch attempt for Laura Beth Wood, but Carbonneau is safe. Got to Lauren quick. Kind of bobbled it. Got out to Sherrill, who had to cover some ground to get to it and wasn't quite able to get Carbono at first. So leadoff single for Southern New Hampshire. Second time Carbono's reached base today. Reached in the second on an error. And she stands at first here again. There's a pinch runner to try to see if we can catch that number. Is Abby Gray, the catcher. Southern New Hampshire steps in. Struck out in the second, fly to left in the fourth. Warren pitching in relief of Brooklyn Hebner. Pitched really well, gave up the 2 runs, and there's a swing and a miss. Counts 1-1. Wow. There's foul back 1 and 2. Thank you, Wayne Bullock, for the blanket. 1-2 the count. Runner on first for Southern New Hampshire. And Recitar at the plate hits a hard foul ball over the fence down the right field line. And she'll continue to battle Lauren Rakes. Ricks came in relief last inning, got us out of a bases loaded jam. And is looking to get out 2 here in the top of the 6th. Facing Jordan Recitar. Runner goes for Southern New Hampshire and ball's fouled back. Mentioned there was a pinch runner at first. That is Ari Farrier. She in a pinch hit appearance, I believe, in game 1. And that's outside. Oh, wow. No, it's not. Strike 3. Okay. So 2 away now.
Now at bat number 16, Autumn Stevens.
As Lauren Rakes will face Autumn Stevens. Reached on an error and scored back in the 3rd, grounded out shortstop in the 5th. Ooh, high and inside for ball 1. Rakes looking to close out the 6th here. Get the strike as the count evens at 1. 2 runs, 5 hits, and an error for Southern New Hampshire. 6 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for the Bears. And there's strike 2. Rakes pitched 3 innings in game 1. 1 hit, struck out 6, and here is thrown out at second by Kylie Lenhart. Following the strikeout of Autumn Stevens. And the Bears end the top of the 6th. So we'll go to the bottom half of the 6th inning with the Bears leading 6-2, game 2 of our doubleheader. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
So Lauren Rakes, when she entered the game, came in for Graylee Hildebrand. That was why Kylie Linhart went behind the plate. And Lauren pops out to start the bottom of the sixth with Kendall Osborne coming to the plate. Bears lead 6-2. Lena McKechnie on the mound, and quickly 2 outs for Lenoir-Rhyne as Osborne grounds out to shortstop. Back to the top of the order. The red hot Savannah Moorfield steps in. 2 hits and a walk here in game 2. Scored 3 runs. That following a 2-for-3 game 1, where she scored a couple runs and drove in a couple. So 4 for 5 today with 5 runs scored. Not a bad line. And here's the pitch from McKechnie, and that's outside ball 2. Bears trying to wrap this one up. Need to get 3 more outs on top of the 7th. But look at this point to have a decent shot to win their second doubleheader in a row. There's a strike. As McKechnie comes back from a 3-0 count. And here's the pitch. And the second walk for Savannah Moorfield. In this game, 4th time she's been on base in 4 plate appearances. Caitlin Rackard steps in, singled, stole a base, and scored in the 5th. She's 1 for 3 here in game 2. And takes strike 1. As I mentioned earlier, nice mix of experience and youth in this LR lineup. Coach Holler starting 3 freshmen. And of course, a lot of experience amongst Savannah Moorfield and Kylie Linhart, Hannah Jennings, Kendall Osborne. So, as I said, nice little mix for the Bears. 1-1 to count to Rackard. And that's high, all 2. And there's a ball to left's going to go foul. Nice idea for Rackard. Especially with Savannah Moorfield on first. That part of the field, she could have easily gotten to third. 2-2 the count. Bears with a chance maybe to add another run here in the bottom of the sixth. Moorfield's going. Rackard fought that one off. Count stays 2-2. And there's ball 3. Count goes full. Here with 2 outs in the bottom of the sixth. Rackard trying to stay alive with Moorfield on first. Here's the pitch from McKechnie. And ground ball just foul to third. Excuse me there. Kylie Linhart on deck. But Rackard will have to reach for Kylie to have a chance. And another foul ball. So she's up there battling. Count 3-2 with 2 outs. Things winding down, but the Bears have a little bit further to go. Try to wrap up this game. Here's a pitch from McKechnie. There's a fly ball to left. Left fielder's drifting back. Going to make a play in foul ground. And yes, she does. Couldn't see for the dugout, but the umpire rings up Rackard, and the inning is over. So we'll head to the top of the 7th and potentially the last 3 outs for Southern New Hampshire as the Bears look to close this thing out. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
And welcome back. Top of the 7th here at Bear Field as Lenoir-Rhyne looking to close out their second straight doubleheader sweep. But we need 3 more outs. Lauren Rakes on the mound. She'll face Bryn Garzinski, center fielder for Southern New Hampshire, and there's a first pitch strike. Rakes with 21 strikeouts from Wednesday to right now in 11 1/3 innings. So she's been in a little bit of a groove. Foul back, count goes 1-2. Pretty quick turnaround for Lenoir-Rhyne. 2 o'clock first pitch tomorrow against UNC Pembroke. Weather's supposed to be nice. We're starting an hour earlier, so I'm hoping it's a little warmer. And just outside, 2-2 now to Bryn Garzinski. Not sure where Southern New Hampshire heads from here. These were their opening games of the season. And just a little kind of defensive swing, and what a nice play by Hannah Jennings at third. Boy, I tell you what, she really does a good job over there and gets the first out for the Bears here in the top of the 7th. So we'll head to the top of the order for the Penman. Lisa DeMauro steps in. Had a single in the 5th. Sacrifice bunt in the 3rd, struck out in the 1st. So she's 1 for 2 today. Got stranded on third base back in that 5th inning, which was really the biggest offensive threat of the day for Southern New Hampshire. They did score the 2 runs in the 3rd, but a couple of Lenoir-Rhyne errors helped out there. Both runs unearned for Brooklyn Hebner, as she pitched pretty well in the start today. Lauren Rake's trying to close it out. And, boy, a nice play there by Leanna Sherrill. I was getting ready to say that might squeak through, but she left her feet and made a nice play for the second out here in the top of the 7th. Boy, good job there, good fielding. Had a couple of hiccups in the field earlier in this game, but 2 really good plays in the infield for the Bears here in the top of the 7th, and we're 1 out away for our 4th win in a row. Rakes looks at the wristband. Bella Dickinson at the plate. She's been is their biggest threat here in game 2. She's 2 for 3, has an RBI. One takes a little bit off, that gets out of play. And potentially 1 strike away from shutting this thing down. Bears leading 6-2. Southern New Hampshire down to their last out and potentially last strike, and there it is. So Lauren Rakes with a strikeout. Not a big surprise after the last way she's pitched this week. And the Bears close this one out for head coach Sheena Holler's 901st victory of her long career. So it's another successful day for Lenoir-Rhyne softball here as they take a doubleheader from Southern New Hampshire. Final line on this one: 2 hits, 5 runs, and an error for Southern New Hampshire. 6 hits, 8 runs, 2 errors for Lenoir-Rhyne. Bears go to 6-5. Southern New Hampshire in their opening series of their season, now 0-2. Bears won game 1, 8-0. So we'll be back here shortly, as in tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock as the Bears host UNC Pembroke. Hope you'll join us, and we've enjoyed having you this evening. Thanks to Malik Ellis for keeping things up and running. Pretty easy for me. All I got to do is talk. He does all the real work. So we're going to wrap it up here, and with the Bears sweeping a doubleheader over Southern New Hampshire. Enjoy your evening, and good night.